Hello and welcome to our first day at Hollywood Studios. This is actually the first time that any of us have been to Galaxy's Edge, so we were really excited to be able to experience that in person finally. In honor of that, I decided to wear my Star Wars t-shirt with some black shorts. We left Pop Century around 7:20 in the morning and took the Skyliner over to Hollywood Studios. We left that early so that we could get to the park for the resort guest early magic hours so that we could go to Rise of the Resistance first to get in line before the crowds came. So this was our first time using the Skyliner. We absolutely fell in love with it. I think it is so convenient. It's such a fun way to get to the parks. You get great views and it moves really quickly. I was kind of worried that especially in the early mornings, there would be like lots of crowds and it would take a while to get onto the Skyliner, but we found it not bad at all. Of course, sometimes they put you with another party or something to move the line along a little quicker, which is no big deal. But I actually think it's probably my new favorite mode of Disney transportation. What I also loved about it is it only took us about 15 minutes to get to Hollywood Studios, but you're moving the whole time, so you actually feel like you're getting somewhere. As soon as we got into the park, we headed straight for Galaxy's Edge. Like I said, we wanted to try to get on Rise of the Resistance first. When we finally made it to Galaxy's Edge, since none of us had been there before, we had no idea where we were going. So we roamed around and finally found Rise of the Resistance, only to find out that it was down. So we decided to head over to Smuggler's Run instead and knock that out. It was about a 20-minute wait, but the line is pretty cool because you go past places where you can see like the Millennium Falcon outside. It really feels like you're going into like an area where people are working, especially with like the announcements going on and stuff like that. So my mom and I were pilots and Bruce was an engineer, and then we had other people added to our party and they were the gunners. I was kind of afraid that this was going to give me some motion sickness just because it's a simulator ride. But being the pilot and actually feeling like you were flying the Millennium Falcon, I felt like that really helped me. The screens are so crisp and clear, but also being the one that is steering it and you know where you're trying to get it to go helped a lot. By the time we got off Smuggler's Run, it was about 8:30 in the morning and Rise had come back up, so we headed over there to get in line. It was only a 25-minute wait, which is great because it can get a little high throughout the day, and I was so excited to finally be able to ride this. I had watched so many videos about it. It really is more of an experience than just a ride.
The ready room for recruits. Commander 9-9, please report back to ITS cockpit.
Recruits, thank you for joining the cause. A covert resistance team led by my friend Finn has infiltrated a First Order Star Destroyer that is now headed to this system.
The reveal of the Stormtrooper room is so cool. I could have spent like half an hour just wandering around there. It's really so impressive. Like, it's just larger than life.
Enemies of the First Order, we will soon snuff out your meager resistance. You chose the wrong side, and now you will pay. The Resistance prisoners.
You have what I want. You know the location of the secret base, and I will take it from you.
We are needed on the bridge.
Keep the prisoners here. I will return to finish this personally.
It's such an immersive ride. I like Star Wars. I'm not a huge Star Wars fan, but I think anybody who is like a die-hard Star Wars fan, they would absolutely lose it. It's just so incredible. It's definitely, obviously, a must-do. Next, we headed over to Toy Story Land to get in line for Slinky Dog Dash. It was a 45-minute wait, but we knew it could get up to 70, even 90 minutes or more throughout the day, so we decided just to wait for it. It's definitely worth it. I think Slinky is a great ride, especially for a family coaster where little kids can go on it. And I just love Toy Story Land in general. I think it's so well themed, so cute. I love Toy Story. It's the first movie I saw in theaters, so it has a special place in my heart. Our next stop was Aliens Swirling Saucers, which I think is such a great ride. It can get a long wait and it's a pretty short attraction, but I think we only waited like 15 minutes or something, which was pretty good. And I just think it's a lot of fun. You can't help but laugh when you're on that ride. The music is great. The only downside was I unfortunately had to go by myself because there were 3 of us and we weren't going to fit, or so they said. I really think I could have squeezed in there. So it's not as fun riding it by yourself, but still a good time. And just before we left Toy Story Land, I did get the raspberry lunchbox tart, and it was really good. It's basically an elevated Pop-Tart, but it was a really good snack. So at that time it was about 11:30, so we went back into Galaxy's Edge to do the super zoom picture, and we just browsed around a little bit. And then we went to the store at the end of Star Tours to look, and headed back to Pop Century for some pool time. We headed back to Hollywood Studios around 4 p.m. and when we got there, we went to One Man's Dream to look around and kill some time before our Roundup Rodeo Barbecue reservation. The Roundup Rodeo Barbecue is the new family-style restaurant in Toy Story Land, and of course, it's barbecue. So I am a vegetarian and I got the veggie meat platter. My favorite thing was the Impossible Short Rib. It was delicious. Like I said, it's a family-style meal, so you get salads to share with the table, and then you have cheddar biscuits with red pepper jelly, which were also very good. And then you get either the meat platter or the vegetarian meat platter. Family style turned out to be way too much food for us. That being said, my favorite part was the theming. It's so well done. There's a lot to see. I feel like you would notice something different every time you were there. And my favorite thing is that there's like announcements at different times, like different things happen. And one of them is that they yell, "Andy is coming." You hear like his big footsteps coming, and everybody who's a toy in the toy box, everyone has to freeze. And everyone does it, and it's just so cool that everybody participates like that. So that was probably my favorite part of the whole meal.
Where is it? I know I left it around here somewhere. Mom! Have you seen my cowboy belt buckle? I can't find it! Never mind! Yee-haw! It's rodeo time!
Well done, cowboy.
After dinner, we headed back to Sunset Boulevard to wait for Fantasmic. We got in line around 7:15 for the 8:30 show, and we had gotten into the theater and found seats by a little after 8 p.m. The show ended up being delayed for some technical difficulties, so instead of starting at 8:30, it started closer to 9 o'clock. But if you've ever been to Fantasmic, you know that the atmosphere there is really fun. Like, they've got great soundtrack that plays. Everyone always does the wave, so I didn't mind waiting a little bit longer. I loved the new additions to the show, especially the Moana and Mulan sections. I thought they were so well done, and it really helped elevate the show in my opinion. Fantasmic, we took the Skyliner back to Pop Century, and it was so fast compared to taking the buses back to the resort. We didn't have to wait at all, maybe not even 5 minutes, I wouldn't say. It's just constantly moving. They really are efficient with it, and we were back close to 10 p.m. and we went straight to bed. I knew I'd be getting up early the next day since we were going to Epcot, and I want to try to get a Guardians of the Galaxy virtual queue. So make sure you're subscribed so you can see that video next. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye!